Hello Stitchy friends, how are you all? This is Flosstube number 23 and my name is Sally. I'm known as Flossie Sews and Grows on here and on Instagram. So it's Tuesday the 19th, I'm just checking my notes, of December. So I think it's 3.5 weeks perhaps since I last spoke to you. It feels like it's almost a month and it's been a really busy time. Obviously the lead up to Christmas, lots going on. So thank you for coming to watch me. Thank you to all my lovely subscribers and thank you to all the lovely new people that have come and joined me. I've had lots of new subscribers, which has been fantastic. So welcome and welcome back to subscribers who've been with me from the start as well. So I'm so close now to 1,000 subscribers. I think I'm at 950, so just got 50 more subscribers to get to that magic 1,000. So if you are watching and you haven't subscribed already, it would be amazing. Maybe leave it till the end if you'd like to. I don't mind. If you just want to check me out, if you're new, that's absolutely fine. But yeah, I'm really close. It'd be fantastic. It'd be a lovely Christmas present if it could be 1,000 for Christmas. So yes, it's been really busy. I've had a Stitchy day, a Stitchy lunch. I briefly jumped in and visited on the Jingle Ball. I've had a Stitch Across the Pond call. And there's just been absolutely loads of stitching. It's been great. I'm much better. I think on my last video I was still a little bit croaky. I was getting over had a bit of a cough, and then I did go to Secret. Felt so much better, and then went to my Secret Santa party, and one of the children there had a horrendous cold, so of course I caught that the week after. So then I had another week of feeling a bit rubbish, but just so much better now, and hopefully that'll be it now. Christmas, New Year, all be good. But thank you for all the well wishes. Lots of people checked in and to check I was okay, and that was really lovely. Thank you. So I did manage to keep on stitching. I didn't feel poorly enough not to stitch, so I have managed to get lots done, and I've got a few FFOs that I can finally show you because there were quite a few that were secret ones. So first of all, I've just mentioned I had my Secret Santa party, which is a group of my friends that live in the same village, and we decided a couple of years ago, rather than kind of having to feeling the pressure of getting every friend in the group a present, we would do a Secret Santa, and just to make it a little bit different, it would be something that we would make. So over the years I have done various things. I think last year a friend got a Barbarana picture, and then I've done an embroidery. Actually, I'll try and find a picture of the embroidery and pop a picture in. That was the year before last. I think that was just before I'd started cross stitching again, so I had been doing quite a lot of embroidery. So I'll pop that in. It is a Leanne Beasley pattern, and I've done it as a cushion. Actually, I should have shown you the cushion. I've got the cushion, but this is the wall hanging that I did for my friend, so loved doing that. So this year I stitched Little Sam Snowman, which was a freebie from Laurie at Not Forgotten Farm, and she had finished it beautifully in a jar with buttons and little trees. So I tried to copy that and do as best as I could. Didn't have the buttons, unfortunately, so I just used some wadding as the snow at the bottom, and I think it turned out really well. I was really pleased with it. And I'm hoping that my friend Paula, who received it, liked it. I also did a secret exchange with Stitch in London. So lovely Marie at Stitches and Diamonds, who organised a Stitch in London, organised a swap for us, and I believe checked the tracking that my parcel has arrived, but I didn't know the lady that I'd sent the gift to. But I stitched Snowflake by Yasmin from Yasmin Made with Love, and Yasmin had given this to us at Stitch in London as a freebie. Now, the lady that I stitched it for wasn't at Stitch in London this year, so I think she was either there last year or she's already booked on to go to the sampler weekend in February. So I knew she possibly didn't have this pattern herself. But Yaz has now released this as a chart on her Etsy. So it was quite quick and quite easy when I counted correctly. I have to say I made a few mistakes and I had to frog it a couple of times. But if you need a really quick stitch before Christmas, it's one that you could probably do. And it's 3 simple colours. So I did it on a 36 count, I think it was antique white. I thought it would look best on white, and I actually did it in sulky. I did it with this little 3 of the little colours. I think I used the variegated green, the red and the yellow from, this is a little sulky 12 weight cotton petites Christmas sampler collection, and I was gifted this by Lindsay last year in an exchange that Christmas secret exchange that I did, and I'd been looking for something to do with them, to stitch with them, so that was a really, really great one to stitch. I think though, I love stitching, so with sulky it's, you just stitch with 1 strand, and I much prefer stitching with 1 strand, but on 36 count I think it was just a little bit too bulky for me. I think if I was going to stitch with sulky again, I'll stitch on 32 count using just 1 strand. The weekend that I was stitching it, I went to, we had a stitchy day with the Cheshire Stitchers, which is quite local to me, which was a really, really lovely day. And oh, it was great because I got to meet the Cheshire Stitcher, who was another Lindsay, and I walked in and she just looked at me and went, "Oh, I know you." And I looked, "Oh, I know you." And it turned out we'd both been watching each other's Flosstubes that morning. So we were like, so go and have a watch of Lindsay. She's lovely. She's been stitching for a long, long time. So she's got an absolute vast array of different styles that she has stitched and still stitches. And she also stitches, she model stitches as well. So she has a vast array of stitching. But at that stitchy day, I was trying to stitch on this and I got it out and I was like, I'm so frustrated with it. And I was a little bit, oh, the stitches are a bit bulky, but everyone was like, no, it's stunning. It's stunning because it's vibrant, and actually the sulky, you know, it gave it some texture. So actually I did persevere, and when it was finished it did look really, really good. So I was really, really pleased that I'd done that. But I think if I was going stitching with sulky again, I think I will probably do on 32 count. And my other little surprise stitch that I'd been doing, I'd finished this kind of at the end of October. I'd been trying to finish it for Stitch in London, but failed miserably. So I stitched I Wish You Lived Next Door by Heartstrings Samplery. And I did this for the lovely, lovely Sarah, who is Sew Me Sarah, who I am joining forces with next year to do 50 new starts for 2024. So Sarah, it was Sarah's birthday in beginning of December, and I managed to get it fully finished and sent off in time for her birthday. So she shows it on her Flosstube. I think she filmed Sunday, so you'll see it there. But here is and you'll hear it jingle because I did put some little buttons on it, little bells. But here is a picture of it finished before I sent it to Sarah. And I'm just trying to think what fabric I backed it with. I backed it with some quite funky kind of pink fabric, I think, as well. So it looked, yeah, really, really, really enjoyed stitching that. Really loved it. And I think, you know, the sentiment of I wish you lived next door, you know, Sarah and I having conversations about our stitching for next year, and there's lists, and I really do wish she lived next door because it'd just be so much easier just to pop next door and have a chat and have a cuppa and do a bit of stitching and talk about our plans. And we do unfortunately live, there is a sea between us, although we both live in the United Kingdom. Sarah's in Northern Ireland and I'm in Wales, so there is a bit of a distance between us. But yes, so that was a very happy birthday for Sarah for the beginning of December, and I'll talk a little bit later about the start of January and our 50 new starts. So those were my secrets fully finishes, and then I've also got a couple of Christmas stitches from last year that I either stitched before. I think that no, they were all stitched after Christmas, I think, but hadn't been fully finished, and I was determined to get these finished so that we could get them up on the wall for this year. So first of all, this is Dancer by Barbara Anna, and I stitched this. This was out of an issue of Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher, I think maybe about either last year or the year before, but you can now buy it as a standalone pattern from Barbara Anna. Or Creative Poppy is the one to try, definitely, for the UK if you want a paper pattern. So this is Dancer, and I stitched this on 32 count Murano. Now the called for fabric is Splash, but actually, so it looks like the snowflakes, but I couldn't actually get that. So if you have a look, I got Sparkle instead, which has little snowflakes, little kind of stars. And it's a while ago that I stitched this, but yeah, I laced it last weekend and got it in a frame, and I think it looks fantastic. So it's up on the wall for Christmas, and that was just a frame from the Range, I believe. So the Range is a really good store here in the UK for frames. Another Christmassy one that I started, now I got this as a Christmas present from my partner last year, so I know I stitched it after Christmas, and this is Wee Santa 2022 by Heart in Hand, and this was stitched with pretty much the called, I don't think I stitched it with the called for, actually. I think I changed a lot of it, and his coat was stitched in Cottage Garden Threads Le Bouton, which is a pink that came in the Patchwork Rabbit advent calendar last year. So I think most of the threads actually were from stash there, but that is a gorgeous pattern. Just try and take some of the glare away a little bit from it, and again, that was framed in a frame from the Range, and I really enjoyed doing that one. I'm glad that it's up. So those are my fully finishes, and I do have some finishes as well. So as you know, I'm on a bit of a mission to get things finished. Oh, just to say again, so that was actually on 36 count Country Vintage Mocha. So I stitched that 1/2. So yes, I'm on a mission to get things finished so that I have got a empty whip list for next year. It's not going to happen. There still will be some things that I won't have finished, but I managed to get 2 finishes as well. So first of all, I finished Be Not a Dunce. So this is Mary Ann Kettle, 1838, and it was charted by Mama Loves You GB, Michelle. And I stitched this with DMC 310, and there's a little bit of ecru just here. And I stitched it, it's a 40 count fabric, and it's a mystery fabric from my mystery stash bag that I bought perhaps last year now, and is still going. So it's a mystery fabric, but it's very nice. There's a bit of subtle mottling in it. So really enjoyed that. And I did this as part of Black Sample in November. So I started it last November and finally finished it. I was determined to finish it this November. So hopefully in the new year that will get framed and up on the wall. My second finish is Peacock Manor. So this is from Pansy Patch Quilts and Stitchery, and it was in the June issue, I think, of Just Cross Stitch, but actually you can now buy this as a standalone pattern as well. So it's absolutely fantastic. One thing I haven't done is stitch the alphabet at the bottom, but I've got an idea of what I'd like to do with this. So I might just put some more stitches on it at the bottom, but I'm just thinking about it, so it might, when I come to fully finish it, it might change a little bit, but I haven't done the alphabet. Now I stitched this on 40 count Vintage Cream, It's a Zweigart, and I pretty much have stitched that in the called for colours. I think I had them all. I think the one thing I've changed is actually the colour of the peacock and the bird. I think I've changed them slightly. I can't quite remember, but pretty much I think most are called for. So that was a really enjoyable stitch, and I really, really enjoyed doing that. Whips. So, first whip I worked on, and I will admit I've only worked on this for one day since I last saw you, and this is Teresa Curt's Remember Me. I'm stitching this predominantly in memory of both my dad and my mother-in-law Diana. I'm stitching it on a 40 count cream, vintage cream, the Zweigart that Peacock Manor was on. Peacock Manor was on the end, a bit of the end of it, and I actually stitched this last week to celebrate Stitchy Sally's 60th birthday. So Sally was doing 6 new starts for her 60th, and she was doing over 6 different days, and on her actual birthday she was starting a Teresa Curt pattern that I've really, really wanted to do. It's called With Thy Hands, and I haven't been able to buy a copy yet in the UK. Much harder sometimes to get some of the booklets straight away that Teresa sells, because they come into shops and then go really, really quickly and you have to wait for a reorder. So I didn't have it in time, so I stitched on Remember Me instead. So I only, as I say, only stitched for one evening, and I got this window done here. So a little bit of progress. So predominantly, I think I've got all the called for threads for this. I'm doing it in DMC. I think there are 2 Weeks Dye Works that I've got, and one of them certainly is the green in this tree, so there is some variegation. You won't see that because it's not focusing very well, but this is a project that won't be finished before the start of 2024, so this will be an ongoing one, because it's quite, as you can see, it's quite a big one, probably the biggest one to date that I have started, actually. So that will continue, but I wanted to stitch on that for Sally's birthday. So happy birthday to Sally as well. So she's the week after Sarah, I think. Yes, Sarah was the Thursday and Sally was the following Wednesday. So, and then talking about Sally, I stitch on Barbara Anna on Wednesday nights with Sally, and I keep it in my lovely Eat, Sleep, Stitch, Repeat bag that I won from Nicola at Bumble Stitches. And this, at the moment, I am stitching The 4 Seasons by Barbara Anna, which is a kit from Nitka, which unfortunately you can't buy at the moment, but luckily somebody gifted me, Nikki in Canada gifted me her kit when she had finished with it, so I've been able to stitch it. So as you know, I'd started spring the last time I spoke to you, and this is how far I've got with spring. So I'm making great progress, and I've been stitching on more than just Wednesday nights on her, actually, because I would quite like to get her finished by the end of the year. So let me just see if I can hold. I'll maybe try this without the board so you can see. So looking fabulous. So spring needs to be finished. A few details on summer. Autumn, I think, is pretty much finished, and then I obviously need to go back. I'd stitched quite a lot of winter, as I told you last time, and I need to stitch winter. So I'm hoping we've got family on Christmas Day coming here, and then we've got my partner's family coming on Boxing Day, which would be quite a gang of us, which would be lovely. So Christmas and Boxing Day are going to be quite busy, and then I'm hoping the week and the few days then in the lead up to New Year will be quite quiet, and we can have a bit of a relax, and I can get lots of stitching done before New Year. And so that's one. I'm hoping I'm not going to beat myself up too much if I don't finish that one. I will carry on stitching that one on Wednesday nights in January until I've got it finished, and then I will start a new Barbarana once that's finished. So my next WIP is Peace on Earth. So this is a fabulous pattern chart from Cottage Garden Samplings, and oh, just on that's being stitched on 40 count magic stash bag fabric with mostly with the kit threads, but actually the skirt here I was running out of what I'd been given with the kit thread, so I substituted that with a Tom and Lily Creates beautiful aqua colour from the spring pack from this year. So that's that. So Peace on Earth, this is stitching up fantastically. I have done quite a lot on this since you last saw it. So I've finished the snowbank here. I hadn't done very much on that when you last saw it. I have finished this flower here. I've stitched, there's still some to stitch here, but I've stitched quite a lot of the foliage. I've stitched quite a lot of the bird, who is it's just gorgeous. I have done this bit of border here, but there's still a few of the lighter green leaves that need to go in there, and also berries. And then I've started with the writing as well. So this will say Peace on Earth, and actually it's charted. I have pretty much used all the called for threads on this, either DMC or certainly on the bricks here, and the breast of the bird are in Rose Garden and Copper. Rose Garden they're both Gentle Arts, and actually I'd started where's Rose Garden? So I'd got Rose Garden left over from another cottage garden from the Father Christmas, from his cloak. So I'd got that, and I started stitching the house bricks with that, and with the called for DMC alternative to this copper, and it didn't look right at all. So actually I did go and buy copper, and they go beautifully together. They go really beautifully together. And then I think the rest is DMC. However, the writing is in this brown, and I started this last night, and I thought, you know what, I'm not a big massive fan of brown, and I just thought I think it would be really nice in something else. So excuse me, I had a look in my stash and pulled out Sampler Threads Gold Leaf, and I just thought, I think that would just lift it. I mean, the pattern doesn't need lifting, but I just think it was going to be better than it's going to look better than the brown. So this is going to be a finish. I would like to get this finished for Christmas. I don't know that I'll get it fully finished. I've got a couple of frames here that it might just fit in, but if I can get it finished for Christmas, I'll be really pleased. Yeah, so I've got a couple of days to finish that. And it's taken me, I started it last year. It was on my it was definitely on my WIP list at the start of 2023, and it was a really slow start. I don't know why it took me a long time to get into it, but I'm really into it now, and I'm really determined to finish it. So my final WIP is from the Winds of Autumn book, and it's Mighty Oak. So that's what it will look like when it's finished. And if I have got a picture, or I can do a screenshot out of my last floss tube, I will pop one in just so you can see where I was up to, because actually I can't remember. But this is where I'm up to, and it's still in the nerd hoop. Haven't taken it out because I'm trying to pick it up as much as I can, but I know I have done I can't remember if I'd finished all of this border, but I know I've done quite a lot of work up here on some of these leaves. Just trying to think how many days I've stitched on it since I last spoke to you. I might not have actually done. Actually, I haven't done very much. I haven't done very much since I last spoke to you, so it's possibly just some of this bit up. I've only stitched on it maybe 2 days, but still hoping for a finish maybe before the new year. But there's that border around the outside. There's another border around the outside. That's quite detailed, and it's not regular. I do think it. Let's just have another look at the book. I do think it changes. Yeah, it does change a little bit because there's some acorns in there, and then it's different. So it's not one of those that you could just stitch and it's exactly the same. I'd have to keep my eye on it. I'd have to keep my eye on it. So we'll see. But it's really not far off. It's really not far off at all. So if I don't get it finished for New Year, I'll try and get some stitches in it so that I can have it framed for next autumn. So those are my whips. So what else have I been up to? Well, I had a lovely Stitchy Lunch with Elaine, who is Ellie Welly Stitcher. So those of you, I'm sure a lot of you watch Elaine. She's just lovely. And Elaine moved in October. She moved from Essex, which I lived in Essex for a good 5 years. I lived in London for the London area for about 15 years. Part of it on the kind of outskirts of London, just in Essex. And I moved up to Wales 10 years ago, back, which is my home. This is where I'm from originally. So I'm back in the village that I grew up in. But Elaine has always lived down south, and she's moved. Actually, no, she hasn't. She has moved around a bit, so that's a bit of a lie. But she's been living down south for quite a while now, and her and her husband's dream was to move up to Anglesey, which they did in October. And Anglesey is about an hour and a half from me, or where she lives. It's quite a big island, and she lives on the other side. But we met for lunch, and oh my goodness, it was just wonderful. We met in the middle. There was a pub that I knew of that was right in the middle, so it's kind of equidistant for both of us, and we had just the loveliest lunch. We did not stop talking. The time flew by, and we had a really lovely time. So it was, Elaine, it was so nice to meet you. Just kindred spirits, just instantly. Friends. So yeah, just wonderful. And Elaine kindly bought me a few bits of Stitchy kindness. So she bought me some charts that she thought I might like, which, first of all, the Scarlet House Strawberry House, which she'd stitched and I love. So I'm absolutely thrilled with that. And I have got quite a few. I've got a couple of other strawberry patterns for 2024. So I'm hoping I'm going to fit this in as well. But also another one, a Lizzie Kate, the Autumn Smalls, which is absolutely fantastic because I am definitely going to put some of these into my 50 new starts next year because they're tiny and they could get done in a couple of days and finished, and I will get some finishes out of my 50 new starts. So I'm really pleased with that. So thank you so much, Elaine. That was so kind of you to arrive with those, and just I'm looking forward to more catch-ups in 2024 and stitching and all the exciting things that we talked about. So it's wonderful. The other bit of stitchy wonderfulness I had was Jingle Ball. So I managed only one day at the Jingle Ball. I'd been kind of umming and ahhing, and kind of originally when it was first released, I thought I was going to do, desperate to do the Liz Matthews class, but unfortunately I think Liz got to there were quite a lot of participants who'd signed up for it, and obviously in the States you get the kit and you get sent everything you need, and then for international it would be we'd get the PDF and stitch it, and it was the Christmas tree that I really wanted to do. And I think I wouldn't have been able to do it live because it was our Secret Santa party that evening. And so I thought, oh, that's okay. You can watch the classes. If you paid for the class, you can watch them afterwards. But unfortunately, because there were just so many people who signed up to do the class, they did close it because they felt that if people were asking questions, it would perhaps just be a bit too much. So I'd kind of ummed and ahed about whether to do it or not, because we were doing something on the Friday night, and we had the Secret Santa party kind of in the afternoon and evening, and quite often our parties go quite late, so it was an almost jingle balls in the States, so a lot of what was going on was kind of afternoon and evening. So just thought, well, I'll miss it. And I think I did get to the Saturday afternoon, or I got to some point and just said, oh, it's $10. It works out about £8 in the UK. I'm just going to do it. And Kate, my lovely friend Kate, who's Fabrics by Crafty Kate, had said to me, there are some beautiful patterns that I know you'll love that are exclusive to the Jingle Ball. And I was like, oh. And there were some great freebies, and I just thought, oh, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it just for the freebies. So some fantastic freebies. One in particular that I really, really wanted, from Teresa Curt. So I love that one. So I just went on the Jingle Ball on the Sunday, and it was fantastic. I really wish, so next year I'm blocking out the weekend so I can do it, because it was really lovely to meet some different stitchers. So I went on the Sunday morning and went into the international room. So I was chatting to people in the international room. So met a few people in there. So I met Alex from Germany, who is on Instagram. She is at Stitch Alex Ong. So I'll pop it just down below in the description so you can see the spelling of that. So it was really lovely to meet Alex, and she had the most fantastic. She finished, while she was at the Jingle Ball, she finished a Shannon Christie design. I can't remember the name of it, but she'd changed the colours, and she'd converted them all into blues and teals, and it was beautiful. It was absolutely fantastic. So Alex, it was lovely to meet you. And Alex is now going through all my old Flosstube episodes, and I keep getting lovely comments about what she's seen and she's liked in that episode. And so that's really nice. So it was lovely to meet you, Alex, and to connect. That was really nice. It was lovely to meet Natalie, who we were in a Stitch room. I said, Natalie, I recognise you. She said, yes, I do a Flosstube too. So Natalie is sew_stitch__sew. She's also a British Flosstuber, and she's really nice. So it was lovely. It was lovely to meet Natalie there. I very briefly saw my friend Sarah, who is Handmade by Sarah W. I think we were both in Liz Matthews, perhaps in one of her meet and greets, or one of her stitching room, and I briefly saw her. I was like, oh no, I'd have really liked to have had a chat to Sarah, but hopefully next year we get a bit more chance. But actually the person I really enjoyed talking to was Liz Matthews. So Liz, we were in the, I think I was on the either in the first time retreaters room or in the international room, I can't remember which one, and Liz popped in. And actually at the time I turned off my camera and my sound because I was starving hungry and I'd gone to get some lunch. And Liz came in. I was like, right, can't miss this opportunity to have a chat. So I put my lunch to one side and switched my camera back on, and yes, had a chat with Liz Matthews, which was fantastic. And actually invited Liz. Well, the day that we were, that Sunday, Liverpool were playing. I can't remember who they were playing, but they were playing at home at Anfield, and my partner has a season ticket to go and see Liverpool when they're playing at home, and his best friend has the seat next to him. And if one can go, they swap tickets. So there can be times where, I mean, at the moment there's a spare ticket every match, because his best friend isn't very well. He's got a problem with his back, so he can't stand to watch a football match. So So I went a couple of weeks ago. My daughter's been. My stepson's going with him on Saturday. So there's times where there can be a spare ticket, or if there's somebody visiting that really wants to go, then they'll happily give up their seat for the other one to take someone along. So as Liz and I were actually chatting, my partner was at Anfield, and I believe Joe was perhaps trying to watch the match somewhere in the house. So I actually said to Liz, look, next time you're in the UK, you come up to Liverpool, and Simon, my partner, will take Joe, your husband, to a football match. Anyway, Liz was like, wonderful. And then she left the room because she was doing her rounds, and then she had a call later which she was hosting, so I went in on that, and she spotted me and said, "Oh, Sally, Joe's so excited because he's been telling my mum that I've been talking to somebody in the UK whose husband is at Anfield today." So so there was much excitement. So I'm sure Liz isn't watching me, but Liz, if you are, we were deadly serious. We'd love to meet you up in Liverpool, and Simon will take Joe to the football, and you and I can have a girly afternoon. So yeah, so it was fantastic. It was really lovely to have that conversation with Liz, because you do feel like, when you watch people on Flosstube, we've got this wonderful common interest at heart, and you do feel like the person, because you do know quite a lot about their life, and it's lovely. It's lovely, and I love it. I had it at Stitch in London with a lovely lady who came up to me and was talking to me as if she'd known me forever, and because she knew all about me, and it was lovely then to have the opportunity to get to know her. So Jingle Ball was lovely. Really enjoyed it, and of course I did have to get some bits. So I did download all the freebies, with some fantastic freebies, and I haven't printed out any of the photos of the freebies, but no doubt you will see me stitching them. So, but my first bit of haul, I had to have this. So this is Santa and the Wall Makers, and this is a collaboration between Liz from Liz Matthews, hello from Liz Matthews, and her mum Kathy Barrack, and it is Santa and the Wall Makers, and I loved it, absolutely loved that, and just thought I've got to stitch it. So I bought that one. And I also bought, now I haven't printed out the front cover of this because it was quite colour heavy. I bought Go Tell It on the Mountain from Heartstreak Samplery. So I will put a picture of that up here so you can see that. And yes, Go Tell It on the Mountain. So it's Beth Twist Heartstring Samplery, and I loved that one as well, and I think that's an absolutely fantastic chart for the winter. So that was my haul from the Jingle Ball. And I did actually I've only had one other piece of haul, so I might as well show you that now, and that is my fabric of the month from Kate at Fabrics by Crafty Kate. Now this is just the most, I've got my board behind it, I'm not sure if I need it. This is the most fantastic colour. I'm thinking the camera is actually, it is quite true to life, but this is, this is 36 count, so it's a piece of linen, and I get the 13 by 18. I haven't got a clue what I'm going to stitch on this, but this is just, Kate dropped this off for me. She came over for a mince pie on Sunday morning, and I've said to her, this needs to go in her main range, because it is just, you can't get that colour. Let's just have a, see if it goes that way. It's just amazing. Kate, you've pulled it out the bag with this month. It's fantastic, and I am going to, I've got my January starts sorted, but this, getting on with that quickly. I'm getting on with that really quickly, because I loved it. So Jingle Ball, the week after was Stitch Across the Pond. So that's a fantastic Zoom call that's once a month, and it's organised by Angie from Tiny House Stitcher, who's in California, and Marie, who is Diamonds and Stitches, who is in the UK. She's in South Wales, so the other end of Wales to me, quite a distance actually. And I hadn't done I did the first couple of Stitch Across the Ponds earlier in the year, and then just seemed to clash. And then the one before I really wanted to do, I was at home and I saw somebody post at 9:30, oh, I've been doing Stitch Across the Pond. And I was like, no, I forgot. So this time I was like, I'm doing it. I'm determined. I'm doing it. And yes, so it was wonderful. Really, really good chat this time. It was really lovely. So to meet Lisa from at Lost in Stitches on Instagram and on Flosstube. So Lisa and I I bought some of her charts because she's just started designing. You know, I think I showed those in my haul in my last video. They're absolutely fantastic. So we'd had some contact. We've been watching each other's floss tubes. I think she's mentioned me now a couple of times. Lisa is going to join in with our 50 new starts for next year, which is fantastic. So it was lovely to meet her on screen and have a chat. So and Lisa committed then that she was going to start, and she's actually 47, so I think she's got a couple of years till she's 50, but very much like me, if you've got them, why not start them? They're either going to sit there or you start them. So, and if it ends up sitting there as a whip, well, that's no different from it sitting there kitted up not doing anything. So I actually committed on that call that by the time Lisa is 50, I'm going to have all my 50 whips that I'm going to start next year finished. That might be a bit ambitious, but I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to give it a go. So she's given me a couple of years because she's luckily a bit younger than me. So yes. So talking about the 50 new starts for next year, Sarah, so my lovely friend at Somi Sarah, was also on the call. So we were able to have a few people on the call tell us that we were absolutely crazy, but we've also had a huge amount of support from so many of you who have said it's fantastic. I wouldn't do it myself, but I'm going to watch you and I'm going to enjoy it. And a few people who have said that they're going to join in. We have got a few friends who are 50 next year who definitely aren't joining in. So Roz from Roz Clark Crafts is 50 next year, and she's definitely not joining in, but we hope that she'll join in with something with us. And I think we both have plans to stitch something of Roz's next year. Sarah is definitely joining in with Roz's colour Sal, which is starting in January. So go and have a watch of Roz. Roz is so creative. Just her mind is it's so different to mine, but her creativity, and you know, so the Sal that she's going to do is all, it's kind of color linked, and she does a color wheel on her floss tube to help you pick the colors, and it's just a fabulous. Go and watch it. And Sherry is also 50 next year, and she said she's very much not going to join in with us, but she will definitely do a few starts with us. So no, and then we've got another friend, Tina, who I think is at Cozy Library. I've spoken about Tina before. I met her at Stitch in London. She's 50 next year. So, you know, there are lots of you. If you've got birthdays, we are actually, even if we don't stitch the same thing, we will be honouring your birthdays with a stitch. So Sarah and I are pretty much, I think, ready for January. Almost. There's still a few things that need to be sorted, but we have very much decided that we've always said there's no rules. We do what we can, and we do it how we can. But we are going to try and announce the month before, mid-month, so kind of now. Sarah has told you about her starts for January a couple of days ago, and here are mine today. So the month, kind of the mid-month before the month we're going to stitch, we'll come on and tell you what our plans are for the next month, and so that to give you time, if there's anything you'd like to join in with, anything you'd like to do, you can come in. You've got time to sort that out, or find it in your stash, kit it up, etc. So yeah, so mid-December, I'm now going to talk about what I'm doing for January. Now, my January, I think I'm doing a few more than Sarah. I think Sarah has got 5 for January. We are pretty much, it's going to be 1 a week. We could have done four a month for 12 months, but actually I'm probably going to push more of my starts to the beginning of the year to give me chance to get stuff done. So for example, at the moment in December, I think I've only got 1, which is on Sarah's birthday. Just because I want to try and get things, and I want to be a lot more organised about Christmas this year, because I'd like to gift more next year. So certainly July, I think we'll kind of have a Christmas in July. There'll be quite a lot of Christmas charts then, Christmas stitching then, to try and get things done for Christmas. So I do want to have some finishes. But also I really want to just stitch on what I love. And I think because I haven't really had many new starts in the lead up to Christmas, I've really stopped myself the last 2 or 3 months from starting new things, so that I can finish things, so that I've got a run of not having very many whips as I go into the new year. So January for me, I just want to start everything. So at the moment, I think I had 8 originally, and I think I might have pulled it back down to 6. But in January, if I want to go back up to 8 and do 8 new starts, I will do. So I'm quite jealous of everybody that's doing the 12 for 12 on New Year's Eve, because I can't do that, because I can't start stitching until New Year's Day. So I almost did think about doing 12 on New Year's Day, but that's a bit crazy, so I'm not going to do that. But anyway, so my starts for January 2024, my first one on the 1st of January will be with Sarah. So we are not stitching all the same charts next year, but we have roughly 1 a month that we're doing the same, sometimes 2. I think January we have actually got 2. So stitch number 1 will be the twin bird pincushion, and this is from Chloe Wood, who is Girl with a Gavel Stitches. Now this was part of our box that we got at Stitch in London, so this is part of our included. So we both have this, and I know that some of our friends, I know Anne-Marie from Ireland was at Stitch in London, she was on my table. I know she's going to start this on New Year's Day with us. And Chloe will be releasing this in January. So if you would like to stitch along, keep an eye on her Etsy, because that will be released in January. But it is a pin cushion. So one of the, and unfortunately I didn't look up the name. I opened my laptop to look at the name and completely it did something else, as you often do when you do things when you're nearly 50. What was I saying? So this is actually a pin cushion, and one of Sarah's watchers actually suggested that we start it and have a fresh box, fresh little jar for our orts, and collect our orts throughout 2024. And then when we come and then finish this at the end of the year with the orts from 2024. So I think that was a fantastic idea. So if you haven't got this chart, but you have got a pincushion chart, why don't you think about starting that on New Year's Day with us? So that's a fabulous idea. So I will make sure in my next video I name check that person who suggested that. So that is chart number 1 from me. And that is living in my fantastic bag that Sarah made me. Now, couldn't resist. As soon as I bought these at Jingle Ball, I had to change my order and what I was doing in January. So this is going to be number 2, Santa and the Wool Maker, and I'm also going to Go Tell It on the Mountain. Now, quite often, just after Christmas and the New Year, I'm still really into stitching Christmas stuff, because quite often I haven't stitched enough. So that I'm quite happy to start that. And I think Go Tell It on the Mountain, I'll pop another picture up. I know you've seen it already, but I think that's a wintry one, so I think that's going to be great. So those are going to be probably probably I will do the 2nd of, whether, do you know what, I might even, if I can stitch most of the day on New Year's Day, I might just start all 3 in one day. We'll see, we'll see. Just can't wait. I just can't wait. I really can't. So the other, so actually in January, Sarah and I are starting the 3 of the same. So the other one is from Love Notes with Thy Needle and Thread, and this is a nice small, and we're both doing, oh, what's it called? It's called Cupid's Cup, I think. Is it called Cupid's Cup? I've taken it out of the pattern, so I'm not doing any rattling. Cupid's Cup, yeah. So we're both trying to get some Valentine's Day stitching done. So that will be number 4. Number 5. Now this is a really bad, the picture for this isn't that great. This is a freebie from Leela Studio from 2015. Just show you a quick flash of the chart, but that is actually a freebie that you can buy. You can get for free on her blog or on her website, and that's another Valentine's Day one, and it's just got 4 Quaker one with 4 threads, so that will be number 5. And then, so possibly number 6. So if I get the 4 Seasons by Barbara Anna finished on my Wednesday night stitching, I will start Garden of Dreams by Barbara Anna. So, but if I don't get that finished by the end of January, that will be the first one, Barbara Anna, that I start on a Wednesday night, so that I can continue with my Barbara Anna Wednesdays. But I have got quite a few Barbara Annas planned for over the year, and a few small, so I can break that up a little bit if I need to. So that at the moment that's 6, then possibly, hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, 6. But there's one other that I might just throw in there as well, but I'm just yeah. There we go. So very excited for January. So if there's any of those that we've got, or that either of us are stitching, go and have a watch of Sarah as well, because we're stitching 3 the same, but she's got one. She's starting Ros Clark's colour Mystery Sal. That's the one that she's doing. That I'm not great with Mystery Sals. I like to see what's going on, and quite often I'll let it run for a couple of weeks or a couple of months, depending on how it's being run, and then I'll jump in if I like it. So that one I may still do that one. We'll see. Ros did a video last week and she showed the back of it, and she showed it very, very quickly, so I slowed the video down so that she was talking very slowly. But it was still quite a big flash, and even when I paused it then, you still couldn't really see because it was the back. But I did think of sending Ros a clip of me slowing her down very slowly, and I thought she might not appreciate it, but there we go. So that is January at the moment for our #fun for 50 Sal 2024. So lots of new starts. I can't wait to start to do new starts. I just want to get these whips finished and have new starts. Just, yeah, I've really missed. I love starting things, and I've just been so good. I am literally sitting on my hands to not start things. So yeah, really looking forward to that. So what I might do, actually, just, I can tell you, I think I've got 7 whips now. I've got 7 whips. So one of the things that Alex actually asked me on the latest Flosstube of mine that she watched, I think I'd shown my Stitchy Journal, and I bought a PDF journal from Stitching Cabin last year, and I think I showed you what I'd got. But I actually, the thing I do is I print out, because I bought the PDF, I print out the pages, and each month I write down what my whips are, and then I tick each day what I've stitched. So and then, oh well, there's November, so you can see what my stitches were every day that I've stitched. And if it's a new start, it's in green, and if I've finished something, I put it in pink. So so December, you can see, you know, November my projects were had quite a few on there, and for December I'm down to 7. So I have UFO'd something. There's something that I just decided wasn't enjoying stitching, so I've just popped it away in the cupboard and crossed it off my list. I'm not going to talk about that one. Yeah, so, you know, so far in 2023, I've had 31 new starts and I've had 40 finishes. So, you know, I think I'm pretty, I'm not going to struggle too much with 50 new starts. You know, I started January, I had a really big list of whips, so hence I've finished a lot more than I've started. So I'm starting 2024 with quite a clean slate in a way. I am going to have a few that are hanging over. This month I haven't touched Moonshine Cabin or the Supernatural Sal, and you know, Supernatural Style, maybe I can get some work done on that in between Christmas and New Year. It's not a difficult one, there's not a huge amount more to go. So yeah, I'm starting, you know, I'll perhaps have 1, 2, 2 or 4 maybe. I'm definitely going to finish Peace on Earth before the end of the year, maybe one other, we'll see. But yeah, so I still do track, Alex. I still track, and like to keep up with where I'm up to and what I've stitched on, and you know, odd days that I have a no stitchy day. It doesn't happen very often, but I do get them. Yeah, so really excited about my adventure with Sarah in 2024. Really hope you'll come along with us and join in as and when you can and as and when you want to. And you know, if you are 50 next year, please let us know what date so we can wish you a happy birthday and maybe try and get a new start on your birthday in your honour as well. So that would be fantastic. So thank you for joining me. It's been a really lovely couple of weeks, full of fun and stitching, and hopefully Christmas is going to be full of lots of stitching. I hope everyone has a lovely Christmas as well as you can. If it's not an easy time for you, you know, just love and friendship coming your way. For those of you with young children, I hope you manage to get some sleep. I hope I'd like to think I maybe just get another quick update in just before the end of the year so I can let you know where I am with all my whips. But if not, maybe the first week of Jan I'll come back and you can then see my new starts as well. So please, as I asked earlier, if you could subscribe if you don't already, that would be fantastic and get me to my 1,000. Maybe so I'm starting 2024 with 1,000 or a Christmas present. Either one. So yes, very Merry Christmas, everybody. Have wonderful New Year's, and I shall see you soon. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.